name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I'm the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. The ATRs are the African traditional religions by which we harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration. To each and every one of you guys, I want to say, first of all, salutation to my madrina, to my padrino, to my oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Kumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Ajay. This is my day of power, y'all. Thursday is my day of power. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys that support this channel, to all of my melanated brothers and sisters out here, in various practices. I want to say also, to each and every one of you guys, hello to my Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. Hello to each and every one of you guys. Thank you for being a part of this particular live. I'm going to share some information that is, to everybody that, especially that is sincere about learning about melanated dark magic, carbon energy, any of those sorts. Today, it's going to be a better explanation of not only my Orisha, but also how you, sir and ma'am. What's up, Demetrius, my Gemini in the house? How you, sir and ma'am, could actually utilize this information in order to better project yourself and put yourself in better spaces and places. A lot of times, as a Sagittarius, my moon is in Aries and my rising sign Pisces. A lot of people have problems with the truth. My particular channel is for melanated people, but it's also for people that are seeking truth when it comes down to spirituality. When it comes down to let me say this: when you are more concerned about how people are acting in a tradition, you're not seeking truth. There's always bad actors in every tradition. That's in Christianity. You should be seeking the truth about that particular religion or that particular tradition. And truth always leads you to answer. What's up, Mama Susan in the house? Thank you for joining us, Gemini. So when I speak of these things, a lot of times people think I'm trying to get them to do things my way. What's up, Monique 444? Congratulations. I want to say, Sister Tree Rhonda has been added to our psychic class. So we're gonna congratulate her. If you want to get into those classes, you have until Saturday to get into the class. We start at 8 p.m. No, my cutoff is going to be noon. If you don't have it by noon Saturday, I'm gonna go with the people that we have, because I got to get prepared for everybody that's gonna be involved. We're doing psychic work, so I need to be in my psychic mode. This is the message today. I said, so let me explain what is a good steward. Oya is the ruler of the marketplace. On my day of power is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is about expansion. It's about philosophy. It's about abundance. It's about luck. It's about wisdom. It has variations of this day, what strengthens me. Everything about this day helps me develop in one way or the other. And the reason why I want to talk about stewardship, because a lot of people don't understand resources. I have defeated so many people because let me explain like this. I defeated people because I knew that they were not independent. Okay? So let me explain. When you're a good steward, you need to be speaking about what you can do. There was a lot of people that came up against me in the church world, as well as and these other bears, that they were not independently powerful. They had people or a group that they were working with. And for somebody that is independent in power, it makes you easy picking. And what I mean by this, all I had to do is separate, scatter, bring confusion amongst them. And once one broke rank, it weakened the whole clan. You don't want your power base dropping that drastically. You don't want if you step in a situation. The reason why we talk about counting of the cost before you build a tower is because you want to make sure you're sufficient in that thyself. A lot of y'all trying to make moves out here in the spiritual community, and you're not independently strong enough to fulfill that particular obligation on your own. And therefore other factors affect your particular how you move, what you're able to do. This is why my mom used to tell me and my sister, mama may have, daddy may have, but God bless the child that has his own. Notice that the one that had 5 talents could not borrow from the one that had 3. Neither can the one with 1 talent borrow from the one that had 3 or 5 talents. Everybody has their measure. And when you understand your measure, you know what you have the capability and capacity to accomplish. And therefore, you will never speak beyond your ability. I'm going to say this again. The reason why some people got defeated, because they were acting like they were individually a powerhouse. And through my discernment and my ability to see, I realized they had what I call them in the church world was drop chord prophets. These were people. Thank you for joining us from India. Behave and be respectful of our lives. So these are people that their energy comes from more than one source. It doesn't matter if you have a squad and y'all touch and agree, y'all call somebody take care of him, because he gonna continue to disrespect my life. You don't need that kind of help if you gonna come and disrupt my life. So I'm not the person that could help you. Thank you, Demetri. And this is what is important when it comes down to the ATRs. This is what is, what's up, Tree Runner? This is what is important when it comes down to being a good steward. What do you have the capacity, naturally or spiritually, to be able to do? What some of you guys, I don't feel like you have been a good steward because you dote on things that have not come to pass. There's this saying that don't count your business before they hatch. A lot of y'all make statements because you have good intention. You have an intention of fulfilling your obligation. But a lot of times you can't fulfill something that is not in your possession. I'm going to say this again. You can't move if you cannot act upon what you are saying right then and there, you should not declare. If you say that you're gonna whoop my ass, I hope you got a playbook to bring that to pass. I hope you're not just out there basing your ability to fight based on your experience, and you have not calculated my experience and my willingness to not allow you to whoop my ass. See, a lot of y'all you're not a good steward because you don't do the proper math. You don't count of the cost in reality. You base them off of how you feel or what you have experienced, what you think about yourself. All that is good when it's an individual thing. But if it's not built in facts, if you don't have a what we call a resume, um, you can say as a farmer that last season we were able to do 100, maybe no, $500,000 after our harvest. After we paid everybody, we pocketed $500,000. So, and you've done got on top of things, so you're gonna project your next year based off of what you have experienced. See, some of y'all projecting just to be projecting. You're not projecting off a set of facts of not feeling like what your next year gross is going to be. Your aspirations are not being projected based off of your willingness to get off your ass and make things happen. You just want things to be better. No. That's not how that works. When you're a good steward over your inheritance or what God has given you, you understand that you have 3 talents, and based off of the requirements of your Lord, you need to double that. Because you know your Lord believe in increase. And a lot of you are trying to live this life, navigate this life outside of universal laws. See, when you know rules and laws apply, you implement them in your plan or your objectives or your undertakings, because that is essential of how high your probability of getting what you want to come to pass, getting a reality for you to abide in. Just because you're sick don't mean you need to be you're gonna be healed. Just because you're afflicted don't mean you're gonna be delivered. How you operate in the confinements of your facts and your reality. And this is another thing that I wanted to talk about. The reason why Oya is so significant for a lot of y'all prosperity, because she's the ruler of the marketplace. And the marketplace is a place of exchange. And that means that you have to understand your resources. Hold on before you block him. How you gonna come in and call me little man? How you gonna come in and call me a little man? You don't know if your income bigger than mine. You don't know if your dick bigger than mine. You don't know. This is what I'm talking about. You projecting. Melanated people don't do that. Huh? Because I'm a big man in my traditions. See, this is what I mean by you judging a book by its cover. Because you think size is about your physical mass. Just like I told the other guy that was trying to flex on me to my ex-wife. And I explained it to him. I said, you got muscles. I said, but can you speak to a mountain and that mountain be removed? Can you speak and turn the direction of a hurricane? See, when we talk about strength, depending on how you define this strength, because a lot of y'all walk in life and y'all define things based off what gives you confidence. But there's other people that got different kind of muscles. They got brain muscles. They got emotional muscle. They got spiritual muscle. Their state are exceed outside of their physical perspective. And I want to use that as a teachable moment. Because this is how a lot of melanated men get shined on and get roasted. You don't know who you sizing yourself up against. Even in the football, they watch the film of other players. It's important to know if that team is in sync. It's important to know if certain players are not getting along together, because you can use that to your advantage to win a war, to win a game. When you got division on a team with less stats and less skill can actually prevail because y'all not in oneness. This is very, very, very significant. We cannot, as a people, continuously to avoid facts. We can't avoid what it is to be in the marketplace. The marketplace is a place of exchange. That means you have to have something to offer to exchange. Whether it is money, whether you're exchanging goods and services for other goods and services, it's a place of a negotiation. It's a place of balancing energies. It's a place where you can pick up what you have need of. You can also release what that no longer serves you. This is what black people don't understand. Just because something is not at the service of you anymore does not mean it's useless. I'm going to say this again. Just because you have outgrown something doesn't make what you outgrown useless. We have a tendency to act and operate and speak in manners of somebody outgrowing somebody or something or somebody or something situation. Even though I have moved on from UPS in the form of working for them and I'm in the retirement stage, UPS's success is still a part of my agenda because they can't pay me what they don't have. Come on here, somebody. See, what y'all don't understand, even though you evolve in the marketplace, even though you go from being a customer to also being a businessman or woman at the marketplace, just because I'm no longer a driver at UPS, I'm still receiving my retirement from UPS. So I want UPS to succeed in this fucked up economy. It matters, y'all. When you don't think you are connected to the marketplace and you don't see the relevancy of certain things, how it associates, how it affects you. This is the same thing that I had to be brought awareness of, but also I was apt to hear and listen. How politics affect every aspect of our life. Not only in the United States, how other people respond to us. How you play politics spiritually affects not only you and your household, but also those that are not a part of your tradition. How they look upon your tradition. This is why every zodiac sign has something to contribute to the well-being and the health of melanated people. Because these are our sciences that develop us and our consciousness and our energy, our frequency and vibration. And when you find a man that does not understand this, then he does not know how to navigate in this thing called life with honor, with dignity, and with understanding. He does not know how to work well with other people. He doesn't not know how to knock on the door before he enters. He doesn't have spiritual etiquette. It is important that if you want to navigate around other people, places, and things that don't sell at the marketplace, the things that you market, then what's up, my Ryan? This is essential. Somebody block him. his level, his ignorance is exhausting. I'm not even in the mood. What's up, my Ryan? So when we talk about spirituality and trying to pander to let me tell y'all something. Don't let your ego oversell yourself. You don't know why I have the leverage and the influence I have. When a man or woman works hard at the marketplace, they get notoriety. What's up, my Boaz in the house? They have built relationships. They have built camaraderie because that's a part of their finances. That's a part of their exchange. That's a part of them making their success from 1 month to the next month, from 1 year to the next year. You see what I'm saying? Also, the standard of service. It all depends on what you want your business to have a certain standard. People used to go to Winn-Dixie because it was cheaper. The food value was a lot lower. It was not clean. And I prefer to go to Publix because Publix is going to be clean. The bathrooms are clean. And then their meats, they have a certain standard about their meats. Winn-Dixie did a whole change with that because cheaper don't mean better. You're going to get lower grades of people. And I'm not, listen, don't take this personal. Because you can find a deal at Publix. If it's about you just getting a deal, you can get a deal at dealers. If you're looking for a clearance rack, most of businesses have clearance racks. Most businesses run sales. Most businesses do Black Friday. So you can get a better quality of an outfit or merchandise that you wanted at a store of higher quality. When those stores do not sell their products or merchandise in a season, they send those same products to Burlington. And therefore, you can get still a better quality of clothes and merchandise. Because that's the trash can of Macy's, Dillard's, Nordstrom. You can find all if you know what you're looking for. That's what I mean by the marketplace. You don't have to settle for less to get quality. But every time you look for cheap, you're going to miss out on quality. Because cheap going to send you in a frequency and a vibration a certain type of way. And you'll have that same mentality when it comes to your spirituality. Every time you think you're saving $1, you're really losing $1. Because if you're losing quality to save costs, you ain't got yourself nothing. What's up there, Jeremy? Salutation. I'm trying to explain my mythology so you don't get offended with my teaching. I'm trying to get you to understand that you think you're a good steward over God's inheritance, what God has given you. No, it's mostly not that God has given you certain things. You have taken that from other people. Like my mama told me when I was a child, you don't tell me what to do with my money. A lot of y'all are upset with people with their resources. And because they're not moving with their resources the way you feel like you need of their resources. That's why you can't operate. That's why you can't obligate yourself to certain things. This is why I ask people, what can you afford to do? In order to be consistent, you got to be able to afford to do the thing that you're trying to do. In order to be on this parasite cleanse, You have to be consistent, and you got to afford to buy the product to keep you with the process and giving you the testimonies and the consistent testimony that you're looking for. It's the same way in a practice. The reason why we do rituals over and over to not only strengthen the energy that we apply in that energy, but also building relationship with that energy. Because that energy is apt to show up consistently for us. Being a good steward is understanding, and I put here, what system do you operate in? So let me get here. If you're in the drug world, or you in the system of being operating illegal, and you're trying to operate in a system of legal, but you're illegal, you can have problems. Every system is set up a certain type of way. If you are in the system of straight, doesn't mean you can't interact with the system of bisexuality or gay, but there's a system about how people function in their life and operate in their life. And if you are not in harmony with those systems, y'all gonna clash. Y'all trying to develop stuff because, oh, he powerful or he knowledgeable. The reason I declare that I'm a Sagittarius, Moon in Aries, and rising sign Pisces, that it is a system of energies that are at work constantly in my life. And if you know how to navigate that system, we're going to have a harmonious relationship. It doesn't mean you have to be rich. I will prefer. It doesn't mean you're going to buy from my website every week or every day. But we can have harmony because I understand your energy, you understand my energy. We respect each other's system. What happens a lot of times, people go out their way to try to change people's systems by which they get what they need. And this is another thing. A system of income. If you get paid every 2 weeks, that's your system. If somebody get paid monthly, that's their system. If somebody gets paid daily, that's another system. You're trying to interact with people and not trying to understand the system by which they live. You live in a system that allows you to be the victim, even when you're not the victim. You're going to clash with somebody that doesn't live by that system. If you live a system of lies, you're going to clash with those. You can't exchange energy without it being conflict. That's why the broadcaster tell people the storm is moving over warm water, which means it's going to strengthen. When that system, hurricane or that tropical storm system is going on, and depending on what conditions are there, it can strengthen it. That's why sometimes they say, oh, that system is going through the mountain. Those mountains are going to break up those systems. And we're hoping that the system, what started out as a category 4, will be a category 2 or 1 when that system gets through with the mountain. All of these is all about energy, frequency, and vibration. You can get so much more for your time, your energy, and your resources if you understood the marketplace, if you understood what those systems are put in place and why they even exist. Sometimes you're trying to destroy a system. This is what happened with Obamacare. That ignorant people didn't know it was called legally the Affordable Care Act. See, this is when you go on by what you heard versus what you know. And they were willing to get rid of Obamacare, not really realizing they're getting rid of their own system that was supplying their needs. This is why I talk and I try to encourage people to stop utilizing uh, colonial or colonizers' language, because it was meant to describe our magic in a way that it was not. Our Ache in a way that it was not. How we perform our rites and how we venerate our ancestors. What's up, my Stormy? This is so important for you as a grown man or woman to be able to navigate smoothly with less and less complication, stress, and pressure. The older I get, the wiser I get. And I try to apply. I take that back. I don't try. I strive to apply that wisdom as I learn it, so I can reap the benefits. What good is you having a wise head and you're not benefiting off your own wisdom? While you out there trying to give your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to everybody else to benefit, you need to be first partaker of your own wisdom. These systems exist with the understanding they come in seasons, they come in signs, and if you can read the system, you know how to operate within that system. This is why you hear some people say, "There's a storm coming. Get you some rainwater. May season's coming. Get you some May water, spring water." Because they understand these systems produce certain energies. And in this energy, they can get some of that energy. They can tap into, they can exchange for that energy. I want you to understand, spirituality is a science. It's not hocus pocus. And that's why I keep breaking things down. Because I'm tired of black people treating spirituality, whether it's Ifa, voodoo, or Santeria, like it's a genie. It don't work. Energy is a science. Every African tradition is a science. It's a methodology. It's an understanding of the cosmos and what should be implemented. We get an opportunity to experience psychic energy in a beginner's class. I want you prepared to benefit off this class. It's things that you're not even considering. When you minimize your spirituality in your own experience, in your own perception, then you will never see the horizons that are right before you. When you don't think that it matters how much you got to work with. This is why you shouldn't be out here trying to impress people. This is why you shouldn't be out here trying to be a big timer or a big baller. I like what my 69 said. Raina. I'm still getting it down. Eventually I ain't gonna think about it, but I want to make sure I get her name right. When she gets, what was I talking about? I was so busy trying to get her name right. If black people would understand that this is an opportunity for you to have more concrete facts behind your desires to manifest, and then you can sit down and be honest and say, am I really, really willing? I was just dealing with a client, even as a family member. You want all this stuff, but you ain't put the work in. What the part, and this is why people get mad with me. You want me to get out here and work because you think you can manipulate my desire to want to win. You know how many people done tried to, because I'm a fighter, I'm a warrior, try to manipulate me into taking over their responsibility? When I tell you how much of a fool I'm not, when you have to still act like you're the patient and that the disease is not the doctor's disease, it's still your disease, you literally think you can lay your responsibilities, what you done fucked up, for somebody else to clean up. And you don't, and still have no intention of changing what fucked it up in the first place. That's why you don't try to educate yourself. That's why you don't try to learn anything different. It's not because people can't learn. You think that magic is here to make people go against their natural aesthetics, their natural state, their natural ability to feel themselves. You don't think that you have to apologize for your piss poor behavior, and all you got to do is do some kind of spell, as though these fucking people gonna forget about this shit you done did. That's how unrealistic and that's how immature a lot of people that are dealing with the ATRs. And people that are in there as a professional, you're not being straightforward with these people. These people need a reality check. You can't get protection from the police and then drive 140 miles down the aisle, down the road to your next drug deal and don't expect to be pulled over by the police officer because you got protection. Like, where do y'all get this from? Protection will have you not as obvious, as though you can fade into the background. But you shouldn't be doing things that bring attention to your raggedy ass. Depending on what you're trying to accomplish, depending on what system you're trying to live in. What's up, my jelly sweets? Let me tell y'all something. If I haven't proven anything, I have proven I know what the hell I'm talking about. Let me explain the situation. Y'all know I get into orgies, threesomes, foursomes, whatever. That's a system by which I flow in. But everybody like it. It's always one that like the dick better than the other. And they try to change the system. If I go into a system that we all play, then that's where we're going to keep that system. Because that protects you, me, and them. If we came into the system saying we're going to split down the middle, we're going to stay right there. I ain't going to try to get an extra 100 out of it. I ain't going to try to get an extra 1,000 out of it. We're going to split that goddamn thing right on down the middle. If we in a system and existing in that system and we don't agree that I'm Miyagi and you Danny Daniel's son, the moment you try to act like you Miyagi, I'ma blitz your ass. Cause you're trying to disrupt my system. I have everything set up so ignorant people cannot mess up their manifestation. People that don't think things all the way through. I understood my clientele base. I know you can care less about what I'm saying because at the end of the day, you want what you want. Because if it was about you actually learning, you will be doing things differently. You will be thinking differently. You will speak differently. You will associate different. I always know who's growing. Somebody that always got an excuse is bullshit. They already got a reason why they ain't show up on time. They got a reason why they missed the item. And let me tell you something. When you so stuck in your earth energy, to my Capricorns, to my Tauruses, to my Virgos, you're the type of people that are gonna get mad when you decided to do what you're doing and you don't want to reap the consequences. And if somebody hold you accountable, you get mad with them. There's more than one system for manifestation. People don't have to do things your way and how you do things to get things done. And just like you want respect in your system, then you respect other people's system. What happens is a lot of you guys, you go into other people's system where they got things set up a certain type of way and you try to change shit. You try to go for this type of spiritually. That's why when you have too many dicks in your life, you get confused about which stroke is which. Which name goes with what person. When you got too many people in your ear telling you about your situation because you can't keep your mouth closed. Put a pussy in it or a dick to keep you from running your mouth. You still won't deal with no reality. You don't have the stability necessary for you to have peace of mind. I can't say I want better and I want to do better and I'm not getting the proper knowledge. I'm not applying the knowledge. I'm not revising plans. You can't expect all this shit to happen for you just because you paid something. You gave something. You have to utilize the energy that is coming your way. You got to utilize the knowledge that is coming your way. Only you really know. And I told me and Mother Susan talking. And I was telling her today, I said, most people ask for happiness. In order to stand in happiness, you have to know yourself. And a lot of people are not willing to take our time to learn themselves. So therefore, they don't know how to get happiness and they also don't know how to maintain happiness. When somebody say they're looking for love and you don't even love yourself, you're not looking for love. You're looking for somebody to put up with your shit. And you gonna call it love. See, I keep it real with people. You keep trying to create problems when it comes down to the ATR and when it's a simple fix. When you stop the bullshit and you start getting to the real and what you really want out of life, I always knew I wanted to live big. I didn't always know how I was going to accomplish it, but I knew I was never going to settle for a certain type of lifestyle. This is why the people don't bother me when they be talking about, oh, he always doing too much of this. I set my life up to live exactly how I live. And when I ain't married, I ain't in a relationship, I fuck who I want to fuck. I don't care what nobody think about it. And that's why I take care of my body. Huh? Just because I like doing dirty things don't mean I like dirty things inside my body, tearing my shit up. That's why I know about oral hygiene and what to use this. I set my system up. I put in the time, the energy, I associated, I tolerated what I needed to tolerate, I endured what I needed to endure, and that's how you grow. That's how you get to the reality of your peace of mind. I can be sitting right here on the live and have a shirt on here and be butt booty naked up under here. You'll never know. I got the garage door open and you'll still never know. Cause they gotta actually come up here to see that I'm sitting by here and I'm just a rock hard. I could be playing with myself. You wouldn't even know. That's what a peace of mind is. That's when you prepare for those things. That's when you put the time in. Some of y'all young ones, you trying to get there too fast. And there's so many ways to make money and make currency. You got more than one talent. Whatever system you in. I don't live a life of regrets. I don't live a life of disappointments. People try to disappoint me. I have not given you room or space to be that disappointment in my life. Because anything I want, I go after. And if you bless me on my journey, oh, thank you, Lord. Oh, I appreciate that. But giving people space to be a disappointment in my life, to affect my life, I can't do that. I'm 52 years old. I already know what I want out of this thing called my life. This Sagittarius energy, this Aries moon, and this rising star Pisces. And the more I learn about myself, the better I can practice my ATRs and do my magic. Because that's what I really love to do. The more spells I can come up with. And they actually work. Let me say that again. The more spells I can come up with. And because they are based in facts, they actually work. Not only for me, but for my clients. Sir and ma'am, I want you to take our time on today and evaluate your system. And evaluate the other system that you're interacting with. I'm a system of change. And if you're not trying to change, it's going to be a problem. If you're going to come in here and try to change me and make me a liar like you, it's going to be a problem. What's up, Miranda? What's up, baby? The reason I keep mentioning I'm 52 years old, because it's evident that what I'm doing behind the scenes, it look good on me. And it's doing me some good. Do I care if you ever use black walnut, wormwood, clove, any of the herbs I mentioned, oil of oregano? I don't care. Because I initially did that for me. That's all the benefit I needed. I only shared my benefit because I claim I care about melanated people. You see how that worked? But I initially got the recipe because I was loving me. In this place of exchange, you can exchange sparingly and you can choose to exchange abundantly. But your outcome is determined on you. And you should be at some point as a royal priesthood wanting to represent all these titles that have been thrown around on black people because of our melanin. I intend to represent. That is my goal. And I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to talk like you. I don't have to address things like you do. I need to be respectable of universal laws, respect my padrino, my oba, and my other brothers and sisters. Other than that, and that's because I want my respect. It go both ways. And I have set the system for many of you, if you want better energy out of this thing called life, a better quality of energy, a better quality of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, that ain't going through all the filters, then this way you need to be. If not, you're going to get caught up in our system and you're going to be destroyed by the system. Because I am truly a child of Oya. I got to get on the road because I got to go get some more shungite. I want to encourage, if you want to support my ventures, my gas, because some people send me gas money, some people send they actually donate to help me buy the material I need. That's why I'm saying it, because other people do that and everybody benefit. And if you don't feel like you should donate to something that not only you donate, but your tribal members benefit, because the more I can do, I'm gonna do. I'm a sage. And I love what I do. I'm gonna bring you stronger and stronger content. I'm gonna give you stronger and stronger information depending on where you are. Because I'm not a jealous person. I'm not an envious person. And if you end up being greater than me, I don't care. Just like I wouldn't care if a man's dick is longer than mine when I'm having the fun that I want to have. Why would I care? Help me find the fact. Well, why would I care? I'm enjoying my life, and because your dick bigger than mine, I'm going to stop enjoying what I'm doing with my dick to worry about your couple of inches. I can't do it. I don't see the rationale behind it. I just don't see the rationale behind it. Life is good. I live a charmed life. And I've never told nobody I don't live that kind of. I've always had magic in my life. And so therefore that's the perspective that I have to come from. Anything else is ingenuous to me to do that. I can't act like I came up like you came up. I didn't come up like that. And neither will I portray that, neither will I speak to those terms. But what I went through, I went through. And what I dealt with, I dealt with. And I want you to understand the benefits of fooling with a child of Oya. And we rule the marketplace and the place of exchange. And maybe you feel today that you need to exchange the level you at, like what Demetrius said. He said, I intend to level up through you. I respect that. And I intend to make it happen on my part. And he has definitely been faithful on his part. So that's, if you want that type of relationship, but don't tell me how to level you up. Don't start that bitching. I'm not gonna take it. Me, Miyagi, you Daniel, son. You don't tell me how to level you up. All right, get on the road.